Are you ready for a bombshell that could change the Ravens' future? Because what just dropped caught everyone off guard. And the name at the center of it all is Isaiah Likely. Yeah, the tight end who started off quietly on the roster is now in the middle of a huge shakeup. And if everything plays out like the insiders are saying, he could become one of the most important pieces of the offense as soon as next season. But that's not all. The possible departure of Mark Andrews and a big money contract coming for Likely could completely flip the script in Baltimore. What's even crazier is that this shift is happening quietly, under the radar, while the spotlight's still on Lamar, Zay Flowers, and the defense. But now, the backstage is heating up, and if you blink, you'll miss the exact moment Likely stops being just a promising player and becomes a new face of the tight end position in Baltimore. So hang tight and stick around till the end, because what I'm about to break down might be one of the biggest changes the Ravens have seen in years. Go Ravens! This might be one of those hard truths to swallow, but it's time to face it head-on. It looks like Mark Andrews is about to play his last season wearing the Ravens uniform, and it's definitely not for lack of talent. Andrews is still one of the NFL's most productive tight ends, respected, clutch, and deeply connected with Lamar Jackson. But the clock is ticking. He turns 30 this September. His current contract is almost up, and renewing will come with a hefty price tag. A very hefty one. And the Ravens, like any team thinking long-term, know you can't always pay for everything. What complicates things even more is Andrews' injury history. Even though he's still performing at a high level, management has to weigh whether it's worth investing big in someone who might not be at his physical peak for much longer. Salary cap space isn't unlimited. Re-signing Andrews could mean cutting back on investments in other key areas, like the defensive line, pass rush, or an experienced cornerback, all spots that could be more critical come decision time. And that's before you consider the talent already waiting in the wings. That's where Isaiah Likely comes in. Since being drafted in 2022, he's quietly and steadily grown. When Andrews got hurt, Likely stepped up, made plays, blocked well, caught tough passes, and proved he can handle the load. Slowly but surely, he's gone from just a solid backup option to the future of the position. Younger, fresher, and with a more complete skill set, especially in blocking. Something Andrews was never known for. Likely stock is rising both inside the team and across the league. The truth is, everything points to the Ravens having already made their choice. They just haven't announced it yet. If this really is Andrews' last year in Baltimore, it won't be just any goodbye. It'll mark the end of an era. But it could also be the start of a new story. And Isaiah Likely is ready to step up and become the new offensive star alongside Lamar. If there's one guy who's made the most of every opportunity over the past few years, it's Isaiah Likely. Whenever Mark Andrews was out, who stepped up as a reliable target. Likely, whenever the team needed a tight. And who could also contribute in the run game with solid blocking. Likely again. And it's not just the fans who notice this. Inside the locker room, among the coaches, and even in national media, his name is growing bigger and bigger. With 108 receptions, 1,261 yards, and 14 touchdowns over 3 seasons, he's not just showing up. He's delivering starter-level production. What stands out about Likely isn't just what he does with the ball in his hands, but the full package he brings. He runs crisp routes, has reliable hands, racks up yards after the catch, and blocks better than almost anyone at his position, something Mark Andrews never really brought to the table. In a physical Ravens offense, that's huge. With him on the field, the team can keep defenses guessing with versatile formations that could turn into either a run or a pass. It's a tactical weapon that's incredibly valuable when planning the position's future. Another big plus for Likely is the chemistry he's building with Lamar Jackson. Sure, Lamar Andrews was one of the NFL's most electric connections for years, but Likely is carving out his own identity in this offense. When given the chance to be the number one target, he didn't disappoint. In 2023, for example, he finished the regular season on a tear, scoring multiple touchdowns in key games. That made it clear he's not just the backup. He can be the main guy. Now that the expectation is for him to become the definitive number one tight end, a new question arises. What is Isaiah Likely really worth? Because if he keeps this pace, his next contract could put him among the highest paid tight ends in the entire league. Numbers don't lie, and neither does the market. According to Justin Mello from the Draft Network, if Likely keeps performing at this level, the Ravens are expected to offer him a contract extension around $14.5 million per year. That would place him among the top 5 highest-paid tight ends in the NFL. And that's before he's even officially taken over as the number 1 tight end. This shows just how much Baltimore believes in the number 80. They don't want to wait for him to explode and then try to negotiate. They want to lock it in now, before the price climbs any higher. Here's an important detail. That $14.5 million a year would actually top Mark Andrews' current deal, which was signed in 2021 and pays $14 million annually. Since then, the market has shifted drastically. Tight ends like T.J. Hockenson, George Kittle, Travis Kelce, and Trey McBride have raised the bar and pushed salaries upward. Paying over $14 million a year for a top-tier tight end has become the new norm in the NFL. And the Ravens know that if they wait too long, that number will only get steeper. On top of that, Likely's production is already comparable to guys like Cole Kmet and Pat Freiermuth, who recently signed deals north of $12 million a year. The difference is, Likely also brings a stronger blocking game and still has room to grow. So naturally, he's going to command a bit more. And if the team really believes he's the future of the position, they need to act fast before other teams with salary cap space start eyeing him. The Ravens definitely don't want to lose another homegrown talent. That's why this negotiation goes beyond just dollars. It's a statement about how committed the Ravens are to their future and how much respect they want to show Likely for what he's proving on the field.
All right, we're already past the halfway point of this video, but before we continue, I noticed you haven't left a like yet. It's really important because it helps YouTube keep showing you my content so I can keep bringing you the best news about the Baltimore Ravens. So go ahead and hit that like button. It's free and it really helps. Thanks. Now let's get back to it.
The NFL has changed the way it values tight ends in recent years. This position used to be kind of an afterthought, somewhere between wide receivers and running backs. Not anymore. A great tight end can completely transform an offense. That's why salaries for this role have been climbing fast. Versatile players who can threaten defenses in the passing game and block, well, are pure gold. And Isaiah Likely fits that mold perfectly, which makes the timing for his contract extension so critical right now. You can't avoid comparing this to Mark Andrews' deal. He signed his contract 4 years ago, before the market really blew up. Since then, prices have shot up, and the Ravens know that well. Waiting too long to lock Likely down could mean paying way more down the road. It's the classic pay now, or pay double later scenario. With a few months still left on his current contract, this might be the perfect window to get it done calmly. No pressure, no bidding wars. Another thing to consider, unlike wide receivers, who are usually pricier and tougher to draft, true all-around tight ends are rare. When you already have one in-house, who knows the system, has chemistry with the quarterback, and is still young, the smart move is to keep him. Baltimore doesn't have to go searching for a replacement elsewhere. They already have the answer on the roster, and that's a luxury very few teams enjoy right now. But keeping him means investing. This possible extension for Likely shows the Ravens are shifting gears, building a modern, versatile, and competitive offense for years to come. It's not just about talent or stats. Isaiah Likely represents the ideal future for Baltimore because he's exactly the kind of player the team loves to develop. Quiet but steady, improving every year, complete on the field and respected off it. He doesn't need to make noise to get noticed. He just delivers. And that's huge for a team that values discipline, versatility, and consistency. With Likely, the offense can stay strong without needing to reinvent itself. His fit in Todd Monken's offensive scheme is another big plus. Monken's system calls for a tight end who can line up all over the field, confuse defenses with different looks, and make plays after catch. Likely checks all those boxes. Plus, he's a solid blocker, which helps the running game flow, opening lanes for Lamar Jackson and the backs. Having a player who contributes in multiple ways makes the offense tougher to defend. Age matters, too. Likely is 25, meaning he likely has at least 5 prime years ahead before the physical wear really kicks in. That gives Baltimore enough runway to build around him. manage the salary cap, and keep stability at the position. With a smart contract, the Ravens can keep one of their top targets without risking their financial future. So this potential extension isn't just about dollars and cents. It's a clear sign the Ravens are planning smartly and betting on continuity. The big question now: will the front office move quickly or wait and risk the market driving up the price even more? If things play out this way, the Ravens are about to pull off one of their most strategic transitions in years, closing the Mark Andrews chapter and opening a new one with Isaiah likely as the face of the tight end spot. This isn't just a swap of names. It's a shift in identity, style, and future. Likely brings youth, versatility, and cost effectiveness that makes perfect sense for a franchise wanting to stay competitive without breaking the bank. The question now is whether the team acts fast enough to lock this down, or they'll gamble on seeing the price skyrocket. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think Isaiah likely truly deserves that big money contract in the number one tight end role? Or should the Ravens keep leaning on Mark Andrews a little longer? Drop your thoughts below. What would you do if you were running the team?
And if you, just like me, are passionate about the world of football and want to learn more about the Ravens' legacy, don't leave this video without sharing it with that friend who is also a Baltimore Ravens fan and will love this content. See those video suggestions on your screen? The first one was handpicked just for you, and the other is a recommendation from YouTube itself. See you there, and until the next video, go Flock.